Just recently, relations between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Nigeria went to their lowest possible level after something unexpected happened. Nigerian authorities immediately contacted Saudi authorities, asking for an explanation for their actions. In turn, Saudi Arabia did not offer much detail, leading to a cold battle-like situation between the two countries. But what did Saudi Arabia do to the Nigerians? How targeting the people of Nigeria has become a new Saudi policy, laying the groundwork for a conflict that can escalate. In this video, let's find out how Saudi Arabia did the unthinkable to Nigerians, causing nationwide grievances. Let's get started. Diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Nigeria are under scrutiny after 177. Nigerians were denied entry to Saudi Arabia. At the airport, Nigeria's foreign ministry revealed that only 87 of the 264 Nigerian nationals arriving in Jeddah on an Air Peace flight were allowed entry. The rest had their visas canceled and were deported. Reports indicate that some passengers were pilgrims intending to perform the Umrah in Mecca, the Islamic holy city. The widespread visa cancellations coincided with Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu being in Saudi Arabia for bilateral talks with the Saudi government. Following public outcry on social media, the Saudi embassy in Nigeria clarified that the affected passengers had not met the entry conditions and had provided incorrect information for a visa category not applicable to them. However, more underlying reasons hint at worsening relations between the two countries. Even if the Nigerian president was in Saudi Arabia at that time, the kingdom gave a subtle sign, showing what it actually wanted to do with Nigeria. Saudi Arabia mandates specific travel documents, Umrah or Hajj visas, for pilgrimage, preventing holders of tourist visas from performing Hajj or Umrah during the Hajj season, according to regulations by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. The type of visas held by the deported Nigerians remains unclear. Air Peace, the Nigerian carrier, expressed surprise at Saudi Arabia revoking the visas upon arrival, stating it strictly adhered to profiling procedures mandated by Saudi authorities. The airline emphasized that all passengers' visas were verified before departure, with no prior notice of cancellation or denial from Saudi authorities. However, the Saudi statement clarified that the cancellations were not exclusive to Nigerian citizens, urging all passengers to ensure their documents comply with the conditions before traveling to the kingdom. Even if the kingdom is explaining, the incident is being called a diplomatic slap on Nigeria's face. Commentators have labeled the recent incident as a significant embarrassment for Nigeria, particularly as its president remained in Saudi Arabia following his participation in the Saudi-Africa summit. The president departed on Thursday morning for Guinea-Bissau to attend Independence Day celebrations, as confirmed by the presidency. Victor Okai, an advisory board member of the African Diaspora Foundation, a group advocating for the welfare of the African diaspora, described the situation as a diplomatic slap, stating, "This is obviously a very significant diplomatic blow." He highlighted a lack of sensitivity by Saudi officials, given the ongoing visit of the Nigerian president. Reno Omokiri, a former Nigerian presidential aide, echoed similar sentiments, deeming Saudi Arabia's action embarrassing and detrimental to bilateral relations. He raised questions about the visa revocations, especially with Nigeria's president currently in Saudi Arabia, expressing concern about the disregard shown toward Nigeria. Some Nigerians have called for the summoning of the Saudi ambassador to address the situation. This incident compounds the challenges faced by Nigerians with visa entry in the region. Despite interventions by Nigeria's president Bola Tinubu, recent reports indicate that the United Arab Emirates has not lifted a year-long visa ban on Nigerian travelers. Saudi Arabia, a popular pilgrimage destination for thousands of Nigerian Muslims, has a history of refusing entry to travelers. In 2012, over 1,000 female pilgrims from Nigeria were deported for arriving without male chaperones. The Ministry of Pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia defended its decision, emphasizing that individuals not adhering to the terms and requirements of the entry visa for the Hajj pilgrimage would not be permitted. Saudi law mandates that every female pilgrim under the age of 45 must have a male sponsor during the pilgrimage, regardless of nationality. Hatim bin Hassan Qadi, the spokesman for the pilgrimage ministry, clarified that this rule applies to all women seeking an entry visa to Saudi Arabia for Hajj. Binta Malami, another woman in the group, revealed that she traveled with her husband but was denied entry to Saudi Arabia due to a discrepancy in her husband's name compared to her passport. In protest of what he deemed inhumane treatment, her husband chose to return with her. Saudi authorities refuted any allegations of mistreatment in their statement. The Ministry of Hajj reiterated its commitment to receiving pilgrims from around the world with ease and comfort in accordance with applicable instructions. Nigeria initiated the repatriation of its citizens after a delegation led by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Alhaji Aminu Tambuwal, discussed the incident with Saudi officials. Alhaji Haman Adama Tukur, one of the Nigerian clerics assisting the stranded women, explained that the women were accompanied by male escorts. However, difficulties arose in the checking system at Jeddah Airport, where security personnel claimed the women were unaccompanied by their guardians and were unwilling to consider any explanations. Nigeria's government is actively working to prevent a recurrence, acknowledging the sovereign right of nations to control entry into their territories, while emphasizing the traditional and strategic partnership between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. The Foreign Ministry has affirmed its commitment to preventing such unfortunate incidents in the future. However, you should know that Saudi Arabia is not the only nation in the Middle East humiliating Nigeria. The United Arab Emirates refuted the claims made by the Nigerian government that it would lift a year-long visa ban on Nigerian travelers. A Gulf state official informed CNN, "There are no changes on the Nigeria-UAE travel status so far." In October of the previous year, the UAE declared it would cease issuing visas to citizens from Nigeria and 19 other African nations without providing additional details. The accessibility of a 30-day tourist visa, which was previously straightforward, abruptly became unavailable to Nigerian nationals. Flights between the two countries were suspended last year after Dubai's Emirates airline halted operations in Nigeria, citing withheld revenues totaling $85 million. Later, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu met with UAE leader Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi, where both leaders purportedly finalized a historic agreement, according to a statement from the Nigerian government. The statement asserted that the agreement paved the way for lifting the visa ban and immediately resumption of flights between the countries. However, a subsequent statement by the UAE government contradicted this, indicating that both leaders had explored opportunities for further bilateral collaboration without explicitly mentioning lifting the visa ban or resuming flights. In a subsequent statement, Nigerian government spokesman Ngalale acknowledged that officials from both countries needed more time to finalize agreement details, contradicting his earlier statement. He emphasized allowing the process to unfold organically, free from speculation. Nigerians welcomed the potential lifting of the visa ban, as Dubai is a preferred destination for tourists and a significant hub for real estate investors from Nigeria. Before the pandemic, Nigerians were among Dubai's largest foreign real estate investors, with investments valued at nearly $2 billion. Emirates Airlines operated 2 daily flights from Lagos, Nigeria to Dubai, and 1 daily flight from the capital, Abuja, to Dubai before the imposition of the visa ban. Now, the latest visa cancellation by Saudi Arabia is showing a similar pattern. Air Peace flight number P4752 transported 264 passengers from Lagos and Kano to Jeddah on November 13, 2023. Upon landing at the King Abdulaziz International Airport, 177 passengers were informed by Saudi immigration authorities that their visas had been canceled, resulting in their return to Nigeria on the same flight. In a statement, the Saudi embassy in Nigeria clarified that the denied passengers had not met the entry conditions and requirements. But who will decide the entry conditions and requirements that no one explains? Also, these requirements change often, selectively applying to individuals from particular countries. The embassy alleged that these passengers had submitted incorrect information to obtain a visa category that did not apply to them. The given excuse was quite lame because if the documents were incorrect, the flight would not have reached Saudi Arabia in the first place. In contrast to the embassy's explanation, Air Peace, through its chief operating officer, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Olajide, defended itself, stating that the visa cancellations were not the airline's fault. The airline, operating as a scheduled flight operator, asserted compliance with established protocols governing international flight operations and insisted that no regulations were violated. Air Peace clarified that the flight to Jeddah was scheduled, allowing them to carry passengers with different visa types as long as they were valid and approved by Saudi Arabian authorities. The airline claimed to have thoroughly checked and verified the visas of all 264 passengers through the visa confirmation platform provided by the Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This platform confirmed the validity of each passenger's visa before check-in. The airline further explained that the Advanced Passenger Information System, APIS, was used to transmit passenger details to Saudi authorities, ensuring compliance with admissibility procedures. The passenger manifest, containing the names of all passengers, was sent to the Saudi Arabia National Travel Security Center carrier portal before departure. Despite these efforts, the airline expressed shock and confusion at the sudden visa cancellations upon arrival in Jeddah. Air Peace empathized with the affected passengers and stressed its ongoing cooperation with Saudi Arabian authorities to understand and resolve the issues surrounding visa cancellations. As of the statement, the Saudi Arabian authorities had not provided any explanations for the abrupt visa cancellations. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video, and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. Nigeria has revealed that among the 177 passengers denied entry by Saudi authorities upon landing in Jeddah, 18 individuals have a history of committing various offenses, resulting in a complete ban from Saudi Arabia. However, the government has not yet explained the reasons behind the visa withdrawal for the remaining 159 passengers. This recent disclosure was communicated in a statement signed on Tuesday by Mrs. Francisca Omayuli, the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The statement highlighted the federal government's awareness of media reports concerning the cancellation of visas and the subsequent deportation of passengers from Nigeria to Saudi Arabia. The Saudi authorities have not yet provided valid reasons for the visa cancellations, except for the 18 passengers banned from Saudi Arabia due to prior offenses. While acknowledging a sovereign nation's right to control entry into its territory, the statement emphasized the enduring partnership between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. Both countries are actively investigating the incident to prevent a recurrence. The affected passengers were encouraged to remain calm as the matter is being resolved through ongoing investigations in both Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. The statement underscored the commitment of both nations to addressing the unfortunate incident and preserving their strategic partnership. The Saudi embassy has tackled the matter of revoked visas, making it clear that the deportation of 264 Nigerians upon entering the kingdom was not a targeted action against Nigerians. In a statement released on Wednesday, the embassy clarified that those passengers who were denied entry and subsequently deported failed to meet the entry conditions and requirements. They had provided incorrect information to obtain a visa category that was not applicable to them, a discovery made upon their arrival. The embassy underscored that this procedure wasn't exclusive to Nigerian citizens, but applied to citizens of other countries as well. However, the validity of the statement is yet to be known. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in a statement to Channels Television on Tuesday, acknowledged an ongoing investigation to determine if any consular or aviation rules were breached. Yusuf Tugar, the special advisor on media and communication strategy to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, assured that the ministry would take measures to prevent such incidents in the future, aligning with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 4D strategy. The Royal Saudi Embassy also issued precautionary measures for individuals intending to visit the Arabian Peninsula, emphasizing the importance of adhering to the procedures and laws established by the kingdom for all visitors. Nevertheless, a statement released by Francisca Omayuli, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, on Tuesday revealed, the Saudi authorities are yet to provide reasons for the cancellation of the visas, except for 18 of the passengers who were outrightly banned from Saudi Arabia for various offenses committed in the past. The Nigerian government has launched an investigation into the unforeseen cancellation of visas by the Saudi Arabian government for all 264 passengers transported by Nigeria's major carrier, Air Peace. Upon arrival in the Middle East country from Kano State, Saudi authorities insisted on the passengers' return to Nigeria. Speculation surrounds whether this incident is a strategy to discourage the airline from operating to the destination, particularly considering the high load factor recorded since it commenced operations. You should know that following intervention by the Nigerian embassy, the Saudi government purportedly reduced the number of passengers to be returned from 264 to 170. Also, the whole incident took place when Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was present in Saudi Arabia, participating in a Saudi Africa summit in Riyadh, extending an invitation to Saudi investors to explore opportunities in Nigeria and emphasizing the positive returns offered by Africa's largest economy. The two OPEC oil-producing nations signed a preliminary agreement, demonstrating political resolve to enhance relations, although the actual economic impact remains uncertain. During his visit to Riyadh, Tinubu's office stated that his goal was to assure all potential Saudi investors of the security of their investments in Nigeria. Prior to the summit, Nigeria's oil minister, Heineken Lokpobiri, announced the signing of a memorandum of understanding with his Saudi counterpart, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, focusing on strengthening our partnership in the oil and gas sector. Lokpobiri expressed anticipation of enhanced technological exchange, increased investment inflow, and a fortified strategic partnership. While Saudi Arabia's diplomatic presence in Africa has expanded significantly, its economic involvement remains limited despite the establishment of a Nigeria-Saudi Chamber of Commerce a year ago. Benjamin Auge, a researcher at the French Institute of International Relations, observed that discussions about energy cooperation between the two countries have primarily taken place at summits and OPEC meetings. However, he expressed skepticism, stating that the energy agreement will probably remain more in the realm of good intentions. However, in trying to forge economic ties, the diplomatic ties have become worse after the incident of visa cancellation. Even if there is no doubt on Nigeria's side about forging ties with Saudi Arabia, what the kingdom is thinking remains ambiguous. The alarming reports from Jeddah revealed a distressing situation. It is being speculated that all this was aimed at discouraging the Nigerian airline that had newly started flights to Saudi Arabia. A flight from Kano, operated by Air Peace, landed with the expectations of pilgrimage and exploration, only to become entangled in a bureaucratic nightmare. Air Peace, understandably shocked, vehemently denied any wrongdoing. They claim to have meticulously followed all pre-departure procedures, including visa verification through the Advanced Passengers Processing System. This digital interface between Air Peace and Saudi authorities purportedly approved every visa, ensuring a smooth journey. However, upon landing, the Saudi authorities presented a vastly different reality. Visas were invalidated, plunging passengers into chaos and confusion. Initially, a proposal for a blanket return flight to Nigeria emerged, potentially stranding all 264 individuals. Fortunately, this extreme measure did not come to pass. Through painstaking negotiations, Air Peace managed to secure entry for 87 passengers, leaving 177 others facing an uncertain future. The rationale behind this visa upheaval remains shrouded in mystery. Saudi authorities claim that the cancellations resulted from incorrect information provided by passengers, though specific details remain elusive. This vague explanation fuels frustration and casts a shadow of doubt. Air Peace understandably rejects any responsibility, citing their adherence to procedures and lack of prior notification from the Saudi authorities. Back in Nigeria, the news erupted like a volcanic eruption. Outrage swept through social media, spilling into the national discourse. Calls for government intervention and a thorough investigation resonated loudly. Responding to public outcry, the House of Representatives initiated a probe into the matter, seeking answers and potentially paving the way for accountability. Beyond the individual plight of the affected passengers, this incident carries broader implications. It disrupts travel between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, a route frequented for religious pilgrimages and business ventures. Trust, already fragile, may suffer further erosion. posing challenges for future travel and economic exchanges. However, there is another rationale being presented for the visa ban. Since the Nigerian president was already in Saudi Arabia and the kingdom canceled the visas, it shows a diplomatic dip. This is in response to the broader context of the ongoing coups in Africa and the Nigerian president's response to them. You should know that the Nigerian president has been interested in sanctioning and invading Niger after the coup, using ECOWAS as the tool. However, Niger has allied with Russia, which in turn is a strategic ally of Saudi Arabia. Now, as the Nigerian president has always encouraged ECOWAS to permit a military invasion of Niger, he has become a focal person. He even requested the Nigerian parliament to allow him to use the Nigerian military for Niger's intervention. That's when one should ask who will gain much if Niger's coup is reversed and Mohamed Bazoum is reinstated as the president. Well, France and the West would be the only parties reaping the most benefits. Therefore, this makes the Nigerian president a direct Western ally who is willing to betray a fellow African nation like Niger. But as Russia and China are forming a new bloc, adding Saudi Arabia, countries that are not Western puppets are being preferred. At present, not the whole of Nigeria, but its president is pro-West. Therefore, it might be a tactic used by Saudi Arabia to cancel the Nigerian president despite the Nigerian president's presence. It was a type of insult aimed at the Nigerian president for thinking to invade Niger. What do you think? Should Nigeria respond by canceling visas for Saudi people coming to Nigeria? Is this visa cancellation in response to the Nigerian president's willingness to punish Niger, that in turn is allying with Russia? Let us know in the comment section right below how Nigeria should respond to this. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.